All right. Maybe you would explain to the users or the listeners not only the evolution of Adrienne Rae, but the evolution of your name, Cea Hearth, so that we can tie it back to that historical period where we were talking about at Columbia.
Oh, okay. Well, when I was in the gay organization in Columbia, I was able to be a activist gay person and use my given name, which I think at that point was Glenda Dilley. That's my original name. And since I wasn't teaching, I was free to use that. However, in Missouri, there's no rights for gay people, gay teachers, I mean. So when I had to go into my profession again, since I'd just gotten my master's degree and furthering preparation for that, it was hardly practical to waste it. I went back into the closet and then was so aggravated by the circumstances that made that necessary that I decided to make another look at that, Victoria, another gay organization in St. Louis where I ended up teaching, and that was called the Magnolia Committee, and I called it that because...
So just to interrupt for a minute, we had to make a change in our location. We got chased off my back porch by the garbage truck, very noisy. But Cea, you were just starting to tell us about the Magnolia Committee and also your names, because
go
ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, in order to have the Magnolia Committee and start that, I needed a workable name to attach to things. So I somehow chose Adrienne Rae for that, and I probably had reasons at the time, but I don't remember now what they were, but that was my first name change. So anyway, shall I talk about that?
Sure, group? Go ahead.
So that group was comprised of emissaries sent from all of the other gay groups in town, gay academic union, gay this,
was an MCC involved?
You know, probably. I don't really remember now who all was there. Plus, there were some few people from organizations other than gay things, because I wanted to make our first public foray into the over society, one that was a little less threatening than, here we are, gays and lesbians are marching. So I included in the makeup of the group people who were from other minority associations, and those were, I can't remember too well now what all they were, but the collection of funds that we then made was not only for gay and lesbian organizations to fund the walk, that we called it a walk, not a march, for the same reason, not to be too threatening, was to make ourselves more inclusive, to seem part of the outer society and concerned for the outer society as well as ourselves. And I had in my mind minority associations, MA, that's your MA, M-A, minority associations would be a good way to, I don't know, introduce ourselves and become normal in people's understanding of us and receiving of us. Anyway, I ran out of energy. I never did continue with the Minority Association. I think it's still a good idea today. I wish the gay people could maybe be seen more as bonding with the outer society. But I don't know. I don't have the energy to do all of that now.
So you told me that the original Magnolia Committee met for the organizational meeting in your apartment.
Right.
On Arsenal, is that right?
No, on Magnolia.
On Magnolia, duh.
That's Magnolia down in the basement. I had the biggest apartment in the building, but it was down in the basement. Yeah, it was good because we had plenty of room to sit there and plan everything. No one knew how to go about getting a parade permit and all of that. We had to just figure all that out. And we drew, since organizations sent an emissary from each of the group, we had a quality group, quality people who were willing to extend themselves in that way. And I think we started in October of '79, and we gathered funds from all the different gay bars. We put a little jar up, and I suppose they gathered funds in some of the community organizations as well. And we just, whatever had to be done, we would figure out who could do it and how it should be done. And someone had to go to the mayor's office, I remember. And so we needed some people who were able to use their real names, able and willing to do that. And I don't remember who the noble souls were now who did do that. But we had got everything we needed to have and just went forward with it. And April 20th, we chose that date, partly because it was Earth Day, partly because, my birthday was the next day, April 21, and just because we thought we would. So, yeah.
Yeah, now we're being interrupted by my cat, so a little break to feed him, and then I'll be back with another question.
All right.
So, not to belabor the point too much, but can you say a little bit about the months growing up to that April celebration, that winter and early spring? Does anything stand in your mind as memorable before the walk for charity?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was called, I think among the gay organizations, we tended more to the gay and lesbian walk, but with the outer community, we called it a walk for charity because all of the organizations who sent someone to the Magnolia Committee would receive some of the funds that we raised, not that they were very much. But we, like I said, we wanted to seem more a part of the society than something that was on the outside of it, demanding something. I don't know. People were nervous, of course, because we hadn't, been out there in any kind of public display before, and excited to have it be going on. We met with the mayor. I think the mayor, we were worried most about the mayor's office and getting the parade permit, and I think the guys were kept waiting for like an hour or more before, anyone attended to them. But finally we got whatever permission that we had to get, whatever license for parading. And we had to close off a street, I think.
Well, I remember that first walk. We met in Maryland Plaza, and I was actually there carrying a sign for the Gay Academic Union because had been hornswoggled into being the president, just like you were hornswoggled into being the president of the group in Columbia, because
Yeah.
I apparently had the qualifications that they needed, which was somebody that wasn't afraid to stand up and talk about gay rights and also self-identify themselves as gay. But we walked down from the Maryland Plaza down Lindell and eventually ended up at Washington University quadrangle, and there was a big celebration there. So that I definitely remember that part of it, although I don't think I was quite so involved in the events leading up to that as you were.
Right.